A quote by Joy Chernoff. Good marketing makes the company look smart. Great marketing makes the customers feel smart. Good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to welcome you all on board on Digital Horizons 2023 Online Summit. I am Janvi Jain with my co-host Pragya Jain, representing iVIPANAN as the organizer of this valuable event. iVIPANAN, started in 2014, is the pioneer of digital marketing training and consultation in South Gujarat. It encompasses all the facets of digital marketing and has pillared organizations to have impactful growth in digitalization over the years. Before beginning, on the behalf of iVIPANAN, I want to thank all the associate partners, ProSmith and Brand Expresso, and the supporting partners, SR Luthra Institute of Management, BV Patel Institute of Management, and She the Power community. As we are entered in 2023, businesses need to understand the importance of being digital. Talking about all the business processes and functions, including sales, marketing, and all the other management functions, every area needs to get boosted with digitalization. Although there are businesses that do not get into marketing their products or services digitally, these markets can be counted as getting into a relationship and not nurturing it. That's why we have come up with an eye-opening summit, Digital Horizons 2023, that would change the horizon of existing and startup businesses. We have covered all the areas, starting with SEO, human resources, and social media. Now, before I begin, I have few instructions to share. I request all the participants to please keep their mic muted during the session. If you have questions, you can note them down and ask them in chat box. Also, stay connected with us till the end to get participation certificate. The certificate will be given to only those who will stay with us till the end. To add on, if there will be any unwanted activity taking place during the session, we will close the current session and send the fresh link in the group. Moving forward, today's agenda will be covering all about the pivotal momentum for SEO in 2023. That will be divided into 4 sections, briefing about the role of chat-gpt and EEAT in SEO content strategy, how to create SEO-friendly website with UI and UX designs, how to streamline your outreaching activities to build digital authority, and last one, a panel discussion on is SEO an investment or overhead during recession. So buckle up your seatbelts and don't go anywhere. क्योंकि आप कुछ पाने ही आए हैं, तो उसे पाए बिना कहीं मत जाइएगा. Not delaying it anymore, I would hand over the stage to Ms. Pragya to carry forward this insightful event.
Okay, thank you, Janvi, for briefing us about the event. Accordingly, we have a bunch of experts with us joining today who will be addressing various possibilities in SEO to help the community. Before heading into the session, if you have any queries during the session, kindly drop them in the chat box only. And in fact, anybody who will be tagging us on social media, do tag with our hashtag Digital Horizon 2023. So welcoming our august speakers, Ms. Divya Mistry, Ms. Parul Gupta, and Mr. Boni Satani. For the panel discussion, we have expert panelist and moderator, Mr. Peck, Mr. Malhar Barai, and Mr. Rohit Kumar, and Mr. Bhautik Sheth, who are going to talk on SEO. So let us kickstart the event with our very first speaker of the day, Ms. Divya Mistry, who will be sharing her views on the role of chat-gpt and EEAT in SEO content strategy. So before introducing her, she holds a degree in BE Computer from SCAT. She serves as a senior SEO specialist at iVIPANAN. She has more than 6 years of experience as an SEO professional and trainer. Her expertise is in the website development, SEO, and Google Ads. So I would like to invite her to share her views on the topic. Over to Ms. Divya.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Pragya, for your wonderful introduction. Hello, everyone. Good evening. It's so good to see everybody here. Almost 60 of attendees, that too on Thursday evening after office hours. So yes, this is giving very positive vibe, first of all. Okay. So yes, I'm honored to be part of this Online Digital Horizon Summit 2023. And yes, my topic will be on chat-gpt and EEAT content strategy, combined use, how to use combinedly in our content SEO strategy. Okay. So yes, let me share my screen first of all. Just do confirm if it's visible or not. Okay. Yeah, hope the screen is clear. And let us start with the topic. The theme is wonderful, pivotal momentum for SEO. And that is very close to my heart because being in SEO, yes, definitely such a challenging thing that every day comes in market and how it changes the industry and how we need to change strategically. So yes, the very buzzing word from the last December and EEAT, that everybody heard about EAT, but what is EAT? That both the concepts are different. We will go in a flow, understanding one by one conceptually how to align it and how to strategize it. So this will be the flow of entire session. In between, if you have any query, any questions, so just drop it in comment box. So let us start with first. The first will be chat-gpt, how it works. See, definitely, I think people are getting misconception about that it is the AI tool. So first of all, let us clear that it is not totally AI tool. That is a language learning model. What basic difference between AI tool and ChatGPT is, see, what AI tool does, that collects the data, that shuffles the data, and that gives you the generated output. And that's how we get our desire any kind of content draft that we use in our any kind of writing. After ChatGPT, see, literally what people have done in especially on Twitter and LinkedIn, there is a buzz. People write, any random query, they put a screenshot and they post it. At that level, people have also generated a love letter on that, saying all that form, all that steps that defines the feelings, that defines the emotion. चलो, तो ये काम भी अभी नहीं करना है, तो अभी girlfriend ऐसे ही पट जाएगी. We do not need any kind of effort. So why it is being so accurate? We need to understand this first because that is the main concept behind using this. Again, when we'll proceed ahead, there are limitations as well, but fundamentally how it works, we need to understand it. As it says, it defines RLHF algorithm, that is algorithm reinforcement learning from human feedback. Now, this is the main difference between one open AI based platform and other AI writing tool. What ChatGPT has additional one step is they add human touch in it. They add human validation in it. So as the step suggests, first what it does, it collects the data. Means whenever you are giving any sort of command like Google Assistant itself, when you are asking for just get me the list of all the cafes near, say for any example, region that is Surat, all the cafes in Surat, and that in the backend that is gathering all the data, it is collecting and it is comparing with all other cafe details that is present on the web. Now what it does, it compares and validates with the real information. So yes, there is a one filter applied in second stage. When it is not right information, it will be discarded. And what happens in the third stage, that validates with the human. Okay, so whenever there is a human touch, it gives the accuracy in the generated draft, and that's why we feel, oh, this is so accurate. Because when we are generating any sort of draft, say for example on copy.ai, on Copymatic, or any kind of writing tools that might any of you have used so far, what we need to give as input, we have to give one keyword, we have to give the subject that we are searching for, and we have to give other synonymous keyword too, and then only it will give us a 4 to 5 draft. And if you will see that 4 to 5 generated draft, you will get idea like that all the draft are somewhere or other are around, it is the same data available on the other website or might get little shuffle on that. So yes, in this we have one more step, that chat-gpt will modulate and it will try to understand the context of the query. So yes, when we want to search for any multi-specialty hospital, so what happens when we will compare with it Copymatic? So Copymatic, what it will does, it will just write all the descriptive, all the promotional sort of sentences in the draft, and it will give you the output as the 3 to 4 different options. Now, we know that we just don't need flowery word for the promotion, and that's where the role of EEAT comes into picture. Okay, so see, so far we have understood that how the backend process of RLHF is very in detailed topic when it is related to AI and machine learning and all the neural network, how to collect data and how to combine it and how to sort all kind of permutation and combination and give the filtered and final output. So yes, this is the glimpse of how it exactly works. Now we need to think on different side. There is always two aspects of anything. So how it is bad or it is good. So as we are talking just from the SEO context, we need to know it makes SEO writing easy. It makes any sort of writing easy. But yes, as a SEO, our all the tasks are getting easier. So yes, this is literally being mistaken by the entry-level SEOs. They find, oh, we don't need any content writer, we don't need any dependency. We just get that software, we just add the keyword, and we get our draft done, and we'll publish it. So yes, this is the pattern that we are observing in any organization. What happens? Okay, everybody talking is about content writer ki job to khatre mein hai dost. Content writer job is in danger. I will say it is not in danger, it is in more challenge, because content writer just don't need to adapt the writing skill of English or grammar or any sort of vocabulary, glossary. They don't need that much data, but that they need to be more analytical. They need to be how exactly software is going to give the output. So they need to understand the technicality behind any software as well. So yes, that is not in danger, but that is definitely in challenge. Okay, as it is open source, so as we all are using, must be any businessman, any business person uses on their own. And एक बार तो ऐसा सोचा ही होगा कि why to give budget, why to invest in content team. So yes, iska bhi answer we will justify, because until and unless you are not knowing what you need to bring, what exact draft you need to get for your product description, maybe for your website content, maybe for your product page, service page, anything. So until and unless you are not clear, we can't use this exactly, because not only this, when we are even using on the dashboard, itself gives the limitation on the third column, saying that occasionally it may generate incorrect information, it may produce harmful instruction. Now that's where the BERT and everything, all the algorithm that Google uses to give accurate information to the visitor comes into the picture. So now we being SEO, we need to be more alert on the authenticity of the content, on the how much it is right. We need to focus on that much. Okay, so that's what we have talked about, the bad and good aspects of the such platforms. So one fundamental is clear to us. Now let's jump on the second one. So when before jumping on EAT, we need to understand before jumping on EEAT, we need to understand what is exactly EAT. So I don't know from how many of you have used in their routine SEO practice, how actually we need to pass the signals in our exact content, how we are using it in even simplest meta description, whether it is 156 character, 2 line of description, we can definitely add this whole EAT signal to that 2 line as well. Okay, so that is not, people may get confused here and mistaken it that it is a ranking factor. It is not ranking factor, but definitely it is a quality rating guide, one of the crucial quality rating guide from the Google that has been followed from years, and a new alphabet E is introduced in just December 2022 that stands for experience. Now Google is becoming more strict on showing the real information to the searchers. So yes, experience is a factor that will prioritize among the websites which one to show first on the first page. Okay, so yes, it is not direct ranking factor, but it is why it is a crucial. Yes, there is one point. See, there is always algorithm update. That is why we are not getting the result. That is why ranking are getting dropped. People get this kind of threats. But if your website is optimized with this structure in terms of entity, all the entities you have used, maybe image, maybe content, you are not going to get that much affected with any sort of algorithm. You will definitely get recover very easily if it is applied from the beginning, from the even platform selection. Yes, so that is why both the factor plays very vital role in terms of SEO strategy. So yes, the very next question comes in mind that how exactly we are going to utilize it in our website. Because when we say these three terms, we can definitely identify from the physicality, from the infrastructure. Let's say, for example, we want to decide from two multi-specialty hospital only, in which we will be going to consult the doctor. So what we take as a consideration factor, maybe that is this infrastructure first, doctor's qualification, their overall department, their equipment, facility, everything. Again, if we are not getting still, if we are becoming still skeptical about it, we will definitely going to go for their review, their rating. So this all are what the factors that makes us decide between two things. So same thing Google needs to know from the web pages. Okay, so this all are the signal we need to pass to the web page, through the web page's content. Okay, so yeah, from the experience point of view, what can be added? So experience is directly connected to the number of years we have given in the any industry. So yes, years is the factor that should be defined as the experience. Team is one of the very crucial factor that defines experience, because see what team is there in experience and trust, both the part. Because what happens whenever even when we have client meeting, they can do online meeting as well, but they prefer physical meeting once in a while. Why? Because they want to see the team working on their project. They want to know the infrastructure. Yes, they have given their services to one company, one face, but they are going to come on our physical setup. They are going to audit the stuff, and from this basis, they are taking the decision to continue or to discontinue the services. So yes, that is a big factor that plays vital role. Again, team we need to highlight. Even we take listed companies website, or even we take enterprise level companies site, many times it happens we do not see team page over there. We just see what services they are giving, what are their history, what are their case studies they may have done, and their contact us page and their blog section. But hardly there are websites that are showing their team pages. But if we see, this is a recommended thing, if we show the team pages, there are chances to add a team skill, because the second point defines expertise. The expertise, what it defines, skills, industry, thought leadership, all this thing. Expertise है तो अभी नमिता के साथ थोड़ा कनेक्ट करने का आपको हो रहा होगा, आपके दिमाग में हमेशा बोलती रहती है ये मेरी एक्सपर्टीज नहीं है, मेरी एक्सपर्टीज नहीं है. तो एक्सपर्टीज के अंदर आता क्या है, तो मे बी जो इंडस्ट्री के अंदर है उसकी स्किल. इफ यू आर इनटू एसईओ, तो एसईओ के अंदर भी बहुत सारी चीजें, ऑन पेज हो गया, टेक्निकल एसईओ हो गया, कि इवन लिंक बिल्डिंग एक्टिविटी हो गया. तो नॉट एवरी एसईओ इज एक्सेल इन ऑल द स्किल, सबका एक माइक्रो निश होता है. तो यस, स्किल्स इज वेरी वाइटल चीज. इंडस्ट्री, SEO, if same example will carry forward, doing SEO for website, but website has now different industries, e-commerce, B2C, healthcare, or any B2B segment. Now doing SEO, the technical SEO on page SEO factor will be same somewhere or other. But when it comes to link building activities, the whole outreaching activities, the whole platform selection will be different. The content structure creation will be different. So that is industry. So again, this is very important factor. See, whenever even client comes, you have done very good pitching, they are convinced with your presentation and everything, but in the end they are going to ask one question that many of you might have faced once in a while: have you done any sort of project in our industry? They will ask, they will definitely ask. So yes, that is why we need to show industry here. And thought leadership, I mean thought leadership is very crucial, because when you get that thought that differentiate you from your counterparts, you will definitely going to get lead here, because that is what the thought searchers are actually searching for, and you are directly targeting them through that. So yes, these two factors. Authority is defined as a recognition, awards. आपका समाज में नाम कितना है, कैसे आपको लोग जानते हैं, that all comes as a awards, certification or recognition. So yes, that defines as a authority. And trust के लिए जो हम अभी तक यूज करता है, that is review, testimonial, again team हो गया. So see, this is not sort of kind of checklist you are using, but these all are signals. The more you start using this as in your routine, you will get idea about all the new things that you can add in all these 4 parameters. So this is the basic thing that we need to use in our all the SEO routine SEO content strategy. See, we understood that yes, this all are the sections we need to utilize. So where exactly we need to put it? So that we need to understand. See, what kind of SEO contents are required. So web page is draft, it can be there, whole the blog, any kind of blog, take any single topic and you can articulate on that. Case study is very challenging and it will define your expertise only. So yes, case study is very important part. Meta description is the 2-line thing, but still it encompasses the whole concept. Outreaching content and product description. This all factors should cover all this EEAT concept. Say for example, you want to write about homepage and about us page for any multi-specialty hospital. Now let's say, let's go flow by flow. What can be there? See, here comes so much brainstorming, because even जो प्रोजेक्ट लीडर होता है, जो इवन क्लाइंट होता है, दे आर नॉट सो मच क्लियर दैट व्हाट शुड बी एग्जैक्टली देयर ऑन आवर वेबसाइट. दे आर इन फैक्ट क्लूलेस. दे हैव मेनी यूएसपीज टू शोकेस, ऐसा नहीं है, बट दे आर कंफ्यूज ऑन हाउ टू सेगमेंट इट. So these are the things that's where the role of SEO comes into picture. They need to work with the project manager of any IT company, or they need to have coordination with direct client as well. So this is the thing. Not when the website is developed and SEO comes into the picture. No, when the website concept starts in client's mind, that's where the role of SEO comes into the picture. That these are the raw points that should be there on your homepage. Starting with If multi-specialty hospital is there, so what defines what industry? So industries we can showcase as all the departments they are serving. Team, definitely doctors team we need to showcase. How can we see the thought leadership? So there must be one or team of a doctor who has expertise in any segment, maybe neonatologist, maybe pediatrician. So just we need to elaborate on the whole thing. Same way, review testimonial works so well even in healthcare industry, because the way even healthcare is booming, it is getting competitive. Such thing helps any of us to take a decision. So yeah, so there is a connection between the concept and where it will be going to useful. Okay, so yeah, there is a one concept like why to combine this two things. That is two different things. That is chat-gpt. Then there is the EAT. Because see, talking about algorithm update every month and just seeing on search engine led and John Mueller is not going to give you the exact SEO strategy, or even any sort of this AI tool that is not going to give you chalo ek quarter ka content ka kaam khatam ho gaya, now just sit and wait for the result. So yes, the purpose to combine this both is this both effort collectively will help you lead the search. Okay, as we see, as we have seen already, that what can be the content, and the most vital thing that we need to see is content distribution channel. What are the platforms this all content get distributed? So of course, there is a web page content that is the first very crucial part. The website itself is already there. But after that, along with it, we need PR site, because we trust any sort of news site, Times of India, Money Control, Financial Express. So any sort of PR site, if we are writing the same concept related draft, so Google will understand, yes, you are giving some right signal, some authentic signal, and that's how it will automatically boost our website ranking as well. Reddit, Quora, and Pinterest. See, this all three platforms are very accurate and very strict in terms of content posting. I don't know how many of you experience, but whenever we are posting on Reddit, if there are any sort of promotional content, get in touch, book appointment, or just call our. Whenever you will post, your post will get rejected within a fraction of second, and you will get that notification that this post violates the policy. So why? Because this again, all this platform ensures the authenticity. Now, same multi-specialty hospital carry forwards. Now, what profile will be there on Reddit or maybe on Quora? So there won't be the profile of multi-specialty hospital. We can create the profile of the expertise doctor, because whenever we are taking participation in any sort of forum discussion, any sort of question that people have asked on Quora, you may find any random question, any sort of random question, and if you are answering that being a doctor profile, being authentic profile, your views are going to get more. Same with Reddit. If being a doctor profile, you are going to give any sort of answer. Let's say, for example, about this new variant of COVID, if any doctor is giving answer rather than any multi-specialty hospital's profile is giving answer, both has different weightage. Definitely, doctor's profile will lead, and that's how we are giving one more indirect signal to the, because in the call to action we are anyway going to give a website link to know more karke. So yes, that is again indirect distribution, that is on Quora and Reddit. Of course, Medium and Pinterest works very seamless, because whenever we are out of ideas, we just do anything. We just Pinterest.com. We search for the stuff. We see the video and we save the video. So that's what our tendency as a searcher are. So same thing we need to give as a signal to Pinterest. As a maybe multi-specialty hospital, you can give any do's and don'ts. Maybe healthcare guide on how to be healthy. Maybe how to stay, how to avoid getting infected with a new variant on any kind of content. So again, that is an indirect signal to whole the infographic can be created, and in that case the whole piece of content should be promoted over the Pinterest. Any guest posting site, because guest posting site has very huge authority, and on that site such content do so well. So yes, and lastly I will put any new site, any new curated site, because see, this is a very competitive market, and yes, we always say there is no fixed checklist, but we have to be dynamic. Whatever comes new will fix in our everyday to-do list. So yes, any new curated site becomes our content distribution channel. So yeah, we have seen both the concepts individually. So again, we need to know how to get best out of both. As we see, if we want to lead the SERP, we need to have crux from both the sides. Okay. So yeah, again, see, this is not a checklist, but one of the best practices you can call. Example के साथ ही इसको समझेंगे. See, there is the ensure that we have keyword pool, define overall skeleton of the content, define specific long tail keyword to ask for the query to the GPT, apply LSI and EAT factors to generate the final draft. Now what it says, let's see with the example itself. Okay. Say for example, I want to write about the multi-specialty hospital. So what I want to write, what promotion I want to do. So I need to ask first, I want to know about the what other keyword will be there, what people are searching for. So maybe multi-specialty. We need to have keyword pool, what people are searching for the same term. So of course, we have definitely curated the keyword. Like for example, multi-specialty hospital. We will have department-wise keyword like neonatologist in Surat, yeah, orthopedic in Surat. Okay, so all the keyword pool, it is giving us department-wise. So yes, we have to keep this. Okay. Apart from this, what we need to do. Yeah, that is a typo. So we have to be more specific towards the geography. Now we have considered Surat. So yeah, there is no information about it. So stop here. What we have is full of departmental wise keyword. Now what we need to do, just see, define the skeleton of the content. So this we need to put in pen and paper what we need to promote. Maybe infrastructure, maybe team. In the third paragraph, maybe how many cases we have solved so far, and in the last section, maybe what our vision are. Okay, so this draft should be clear to us. Now, what next should be followed is define a specific long tail queries to ask question to the chat-gpt. See, we want to promote in the first paragraph, what we need to promote is multi-specialty hospitals feature. So promotional content for the multi-specialty hospital. Okay, let's wait for the draft. See, here we are getting. So this is the draft that can be useful, but yes, it is the variant. It is a variant of all the shuffled word that is taken from existing web only. Now, what we need to do on this draft is, see, we have done the steps till third point, that is defining a long tail keyword that we asked to GPT, that multi-specialty hospitals promotional description. Now, what is the last step? Apply LSI and EEAT in the generated draft. So just take this whole content in your document file, and now already we have LSI keyword pool ready with us from the LSI graph or maybe from the related searches, and then we need to apply it, optimize it for EAT. So EAT points we already have, we need to create one Excel file, need to point out all the things, what can be your expertise, what can be your experience, what can be your authority. So just generate and add sentences according to that signals, and just revise this whole draft. And now this draft is useful and optimized with both the technique, that is using the roots that is EAT, and the advanced technique that is GPT. So yes, that's how we can get best out of it. But again, this is under again research, and so many things that we ask it says I'm sorry, I'm not getting, and it's still getting that beta version done, and it is open source, right? So as I mentioned in the beginning, it is taking human touch. So whatever we are rewriting, if we are not getting right ideas and we are rewriting, it is saving all the information, and from that data only, that is the human touch, right? And from that data only, it is trying to create more accurate draft for all of us. And yes, this will go in paid, in premium services, definitely, for sure. Okay, so let's head toward the conclusion of this session. So what to conclude from this? So obviously we have to stay advanced. तो किसी की जॉब खतरे में नहीं है, but definitely एक चैलेंज के अंदर है, but rooted. तो कोई भी कल उठ के कोई algorithmic अपडेट आ जाता है, but if रूट्स आपके सही है तो आपको कोई हिला नहीं सकेगा. ये फंडा इधर भी अप्लाई हो रहा है. Artificial intelligence needs real intelligence, because it itself says it may give you stupid ideas, sometimes stupid answer. So what exactly we seek, and according to that, what exactly query generation we need to ask to the software, that should be clear to us only. Yeah. So that was from my side on this topic. So if you have any question, any query, please drop in comment. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, Divya. सही कहा आपने कि किसी की जॉब खतरे में नहीं है एक्चुअली. So every content writer is now saying कि हाँ मेरी जॉब खतरे में नहीं है. So definitely your findings have covered a lot of ground and will be highly useful to content marketers who want to enhance the search results with the help of chat-gpt and EAT. So before we move forward with the panel discussion, it is essential to comprehend the why part. Many small, medium, or even large-sized businesses are hesitant about investing in SEO as much as they invest in other luxurious physical setups. So it is the time to learn from industry experts who have been working in this field for at least a decade. So let us move forward to our next panel discussion. But before starting the panel discussion, let me introduce to our panel members. Our very first panelist is Mr. Peck. He is the Director of Client Services of O3M. Being the director of the company, he helps connect businesses with their online audiences. Based in Chennai, he is a leading provider of both outsourced and direct client online marketing solutions. We welcome you, Rob. Our next panelist is Mr. Rohit Kumar. In the last 4 years, he has helped edutech businesses scale in their 0 to 1 journey. He is now leading growth at Sugarfit. He had done his MBA from IIM Bangalore with a specialization in marketing and product growth. He also weekly shares his insights on product-led growth and digital marketing on LinkedIn. We welcome you, Rohit.
Hello, everyone.
Our next panelist is Mr. Malhar Barai. He currently leads the global marketing and PR efforts for Affle. His role focuses on expanding Affle's brand value proposition across the market. He is the author of the book Service-Oriented Architecture and Java. We welcome you too, Malhar. So,
Thank you so
moving
much.
forward, let me introduce to our panel moderator, Mr. Bhautik Sheth. He is a founder of iVIPANAN Digital Marketing Services based in Surat with 16 plus years of experience. He has trained more than 60,000 people in digital marketing and has consulted with 110 plus companies. Yeah. So I would like to request Bhautik to take. So I would like to request Bhautik to take over this decisive discussion. So are you enjoying the session, guys?
Absolutely.
Is there anybody? Are you excited? If you have any queries, guys, please comment below in the chat box. And we are starting with panel discussion. Hello, Mr. Malhar. Hello, Rohit sir.
Hey, hi. I hope I'm
Hello.
audible.
So let's move forward for the panel discussion. I would like to request Bhautik to take over the decisive discussion.
Hey, thank you so much, Pragya, for inviting. And hey, guys, how are you? Hi, Rob. Hi, Malhar. Hi, Rohit. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
So this is the problem when you are at the organizing side, right? You have to manage so many things, and at the same time, you are getting late because you are the moderator. So excuse me that I got late because I had to look after so many other things. But fortunately, I have a very good team who are managing the things. And yes, I'm super excited to moderate this panel because with Rob, I had certain, past sessions together. But for the very first time, I think with Rohit and Malhar, we are talking for the very first time. And the best part is I'm at this side of the table and you guys are at the opposite side of the table. And another thing that I'm going to see, Malhar for next at least half an hour is not going to tweet anything. So you want somebody to tweet on your behalf, Malhar. So just go for it. I think your team can tweet on your behalf.
Absolutely. Love to.
Okay, guys. So the entire thing was this came out like this, that every time we talk about that what is going to happen in the next year, and with my experience, I understood one thing, that digital is not only related to SEO or social media, it is related to so many different things about business. And this time we just thought that why to only talk about technical aspect of SEO, or why to only talk about social media or the content? Why we cannot talk something about HR as well? So that is how the idea came. And I think it was not more than a week then when we decided that let us do something. And the first challenge that we found was to find the good speakers, not only for today's event, but the event that is going to happen tomorrow and day after tomorrow. But fortunately, we got the very good people on board. And that is how the event shaped up. So I'm not going to waste the time because now 7 o'clock is there and we had to start at 7. So guys, you know the theme. We are talking about not only about SEO, but we are talking about different challenges along with the SEO. And one of the most important aspect of challenge, you can say, is so many businesses, specifically the businesses, they are working in the tier 2 cities. They see to SEO as a tool that is not equal to investment, but equal to expense. So I think, guys, before we open this panel for everyone, I just want your opening statement one by one from you all. We'll start with Malhar. So Malhar, your opening statement about the theme, please.
So again, I will start in John Mueller format, right? So it depends, right? So again, it depends on whom you ask this question, because someone who has probably just joined marketing or probably has little bit of knowledge of digital marketing, for them, it could be an investment. But if you are going to ask the CFO, if you are going to ask the CMO, right, they are going to say it's an expense, right? So that's my opening statement. It depends on whom you are asking, and that's how we will take this conversation forward.
Okay, perfect. Short and sweet. Rob, your opinion, your statement, please.
So yeah, I hate to follow up with a bit of a cop-out answer, but I would say it's both an expense and an investment, right? More specifically, I would say it's an expense that's used to build assets that can yield a return, which, surprise, makes it an investment, right? If we think about kind of the best SEO, what do we need? Great website, awesome content, basic level text, image, video, more advanced podcast apps, channels, profiles, and then some structure of building, winning, earning, buying links from good sites, right? And all of that has a cost with it, but it's a cost that yields long-term wins that makes it an investment, right? And what is that revenue? I think ahead of actual revenue, you have, visibility, rankings, search engine traffic, referral traffic, direct traffic, that all comes together to drive revenue, right? I'd think of it sort of as my son's food bills, right? Or even better yet, his multivitamin, right, bill. Of course, it's an expense. It shows up on my credit card statement, but it's an investment in his health, right? And not to get kind of emotional, but I think the same thing, right? If our websites, our online footprint is our child, these are the multivitamins, right? Now, I thought it was interesting, sort of the framing of today, and of course, thank you to Bhautik and his team for putting it together. Sort of, I think we're all kind of looking at a potential looming recession, and then we all immediately think back to first lockdown, beginning of the pandemic, right? And of course, some things in the same, but I see them as very different, right? In the pandemic, there was money in the market, but you couldn't do anything, right? That's why I think largely we saw NFTs, online gaming, the crypto boom, all that stuff. And so the focus was pretty clear: build those long-term assets. We're all going to get out of this someday, and let's be well positioned, right? So clearly an investment there. Here, perhaps the opposite, right? We're afraid there's going to be no money, and we can do things. I think that also positions SEO quite well, because the focus then is drive revenue at a reduced cost, right? As an agency, we offer both SEO and advertising services. On the SEO side, you're not going to take down your website, so might as well invest that incremental revenue to continue building it, right? And then also on the linking side, there's always an opportunity kind of when everyone is scrambling and everyone's worried, right? All the crisis and opportunity quotes. So yeah, I would say it's both, but I would certainly lean towards an investment. Thank you.
Yeah, good. So we have both the opening statements from Rob and Malhar. Rohit, going to you. Your opening statement, please.
Yeah, I was just thinking, about this as Mr. Rob and Mr. Malhar. I think, first of all, very honored to sharing the screen with both of the folks here. But I was just thinking, is it even fair, to polarize it, saying, is it investment or an expense? Given not just who you ask, as Malhar just rightly said, it's also what stage of the company it is. Like person, very early stage, figuring out product market fit, figuring out initial traction, and you go ahead and tell him, hey, forget everything, SEO is important, let's start do SEO. He'll say, he'll speak to you 2 to 3 years later. Whereas someone who has grown, who has seen the traction, their acquisition funnels are sorted, processes are right, they're looking for branding activities and all. Maybe there, if you ask that person, so stage of the company, where is it, how the business looks like? And second thing is which category you are in. So first is stage and second is category. So sometimes we have this hygiene, let's say we do SEO. So I'm not talking about basic SEO, like say website optimization, all of that, but let's say investing your resources and money and even bandwidth to figure it out. But let's say your category doesn't even have those volumes, even those have those searches and everything. Doesn't make sense to go ahead and, keep thinking about SEO, because end of the day, see, it has to support the business. It's one of the channels. Business is paramount, and be it marketing, product, everything is servicing the business, and SEO has to service the business. So I would say, adding to who do you ask, even which stage of the organization you are in, moreover, which category you are in. Is it like what potential it lies? The answers lies there. Is it an investment or an expense?
Right, you can be a very good politician, I must say. It was a very, very balanced answer, I must say, and I loved the way you answered.
Yeah.
But guys, yeah. So before I open this panel discussion for everyone, I just want to tell you that why we selected this particular topic. Because as you know that we are based in Surat in Gujarat, and compared to all the 4, 5, 6 metro cities, see, digital is growing here. And what we have observed that because this is the city of textile, and so many e-commerce companies, they're selling a lot of products. They are literally minting money. And what they are up to, they are not at all focusing on the organic aspect of the website. They're purely focusing on running ads. They're spending lakhs of rupees on Meta ads. They're spending lakhs of rupees on Google ads every month. But when it comes to optimization of the website, they are not at all interested in it. So we just thought that why we are not focusing on this aspect as well, although it's a kind of test match, not a kind of 2020, but we know that even test match is important to play. And hence we came up on this particular topic, and we just wanted to understand the thought process from people like you, who are obviously working with the giant companies, and you have your clients as well. So now, as we have kept this panel discussion open for everyone, so let us start with Malhar. So Malhar, again, talking about the businesses and the clients. So this is an experience for all of us, maybe you as well. The clients are more concerned. And yes, you were in Ahmedabad, so you know it better. The psychology of the businesses, not only in Gujarat, but maybe even in Rajasthan or some part of the Maharashtra. That clients are more concerned about top SERP results organically, right? They are also concerned about organic conversions through SEO, what kind of conversions you can get. So what other metrics should clients be aware of? So is there anything else that even clients need to focus on other than top results or maybe the organic conversions?
Nice way to start. And again, so before I answer that, so Rohit mentioned a couple of good points, right, about the segment, etc. Right. So one of the brand that I worked with earlier, right, and so they never invested in SEO, right, and this was an old brand, right. The brand has been in existence for like what 15-20 years or more than 20 years now. Zero investment in SEO, right? The website traffic was over 1 million hits in a month, right? And so you can imagine. So when I got into the team, right, and I asked why there is no SEO, I said, and the CMO, right, and that's right whom you ask, right? CMO said, I never wanted to invest in SEO because I'm already getting the number of hits, right? I don't really care, right? And the business, there was a lot of business that was generated offline, right? So whom you ask, again, to Rohit's just taking it further, right? The segment that you are in, right? It becomes very important, right? So how that conversion is there, and is the brand really interested in doing it? So coming to the question of the you just asked, right? So there are multiple metrics, right? Beyond the vanity metrics, it's time on the site and all those stuff, right? Something that I tell closely to my team and also say previously where I worked with, right, is do you really understand the heat map, right? That is the first part. Do you really know where your customer is or the visitor to that website is coming in from, right? What part of the pages is he frequenting, right? He or her, right? What pages they are frequenting, what part of the page they are frequenting, right? Understand the heat map, but then you will know, right, what is happening or what needs to be optimized at the page level. The second part, right? Understand the traversal. What is the visitor doing to your page, right? So in terms of when he visits your page, what is the next page he is visiting? Are you giving them an opportunity to stay on the site more, right? So understand that traversal, right? And this comes from a very bad experience that we had. So again, one of the brand that I work with, again, very good hits, everything working fine, right?
Just want to hold you, Malhar. Can you please mute? Okay, I think he's muted. Yes, please, Malhar, carry on.
So see, Okay, so where was I? Okay, the traversal part, right? So you need to understand how the visitor is going through your site, right? In the example that I had, right? Say the brand that I worked with, when we went on the menu bar, their core business pages were coming at the third or the fourth click, all right? And when we look at the traversal on Google Analytics, we could see that people dropping after a second click, right? And that is where that aha moment was there, that understand how people are going through your site, where exactly they are dropping off. That becomes a very important signal for you to control some of those metrics, right? Again, your time on site, your bounce rates, etc., right? Because the user is not able to find something, right? Or they're dropping after certain clicks. The third opportunity that what I feel many folks miss out is a custom 404 page, right? When someone hits a 404 page, right, are you giving them an option to go back to your site and say, okay, search for this page, right? Unless you are not giving that custom 404 page, you will see bounce rates, etc., increasing. And finally, right, if you are in stage of your site where you are increasing your brand awareness, right, understand the brand keywords, right, the hits happening on the brand keywords. Many of us are missing. We look at our business keywords and say, okay, yeah, we are ranking here, there, but what about your own brand, right? What is the kind of visits coming on your own brand? So look for that also. So these are the few points that I could figure out. Happy to take more questions.
Perfect, Malhar. And I must say that I think heat map is, yes, this is what we also focus a lot, and specifically when it comes to the e-commerce website, we always emphasize on, also talking about the heat map matrices with the clients. So thank you so much for sharing this. And I'm sure that people are noting down all the things, and I think you guys can put all this point forward, but just make sure never make your client so much intelligent about the technical things. Otherwise, maybe the things can become difficult for you. But nevertheless, thank you so much, Malhar. So coming to Rob. Rob, this is again from now, not exactly from the client side, but any business. So as a business, if you feel that what obstacles may you face when getting started with SEO activities? Because this is the first challenge that we as an agency, we face. We need to convince the business owners that, hey, let's start. They're also getting ready to start with it. But then they face certain challenges when they start with us or with maybe any agency. So what obstacles a business normally facing? Second question along with that is that what initial SEO checklist should a business follow in terms of any other supporting digital platforms? So this is something for the business owners. This question goes for them. Rob.
Sure. So yeah, great question. Thank you. And I always enjoy putting myself in the mind of the client. Something we all need to do, as much as we can. So I would key in on sort of 3 obstacles or kind of friction points when a business is getting started with SEO. First and foremost is the company buy-in, right? And what I mean by that is SEO is unique in that it really is all-encompassing, right? If we say we need a coffee machine, you buy a coffee machine. If you say we need a newspaper ad, we buy a newspaper ad. If you say, hey, we need to buy SEO, you really need content, images, video, networking, hosting, web developer time and budget, all of these sort of different things, right? And then remember the first session, we're talking about EAT and building that authority. You don't want the SEO working in isolation, right? Because we talk about, the highlights of our product, it's much better if the product team is involved in that than just the SEO in a box somewhere writing, hey, it's great, it's affordable, right? Where you can really get in and do those deep dives. You're going to need everyone in the company to buy in, right? Other side of that buy-in is expectation management, right? And that is kind of stake matching the sizzle, right? SEO we know has proven ROI, but it's perhaps the hardest to prove ROI on, right? as well as certainly the forecasting side, right? So I think that first point is company buy-in. I find to sort of mitigate that, a lot of education, case studies, and these sort of things. But I do know it gets frustrating because we almost have to speak like those investment house vision statements where past results are not a guarantee of future progress, right? But ultimately, that's why we like case studies and these sort of things. Next is the competition they're facing, right? If you're starting SEO in 2023, you're probably starting late, and a lot is established there, right? So you're losing that kind of first mover advantage, that being a new business, a new domain, or kind of new to SEO, competing with these established entities and all those sort of natural links that happen in time. And instead of the race of, oh my God, we need 1,000 articles. Wait, Google only decided to index 2 of them, versus someone who's been publishing for years and they're kind of naturally getting in and traveling well on Google. Third, I think, would be the change in mindset, right? We can assume at this point, many or most businesses have done some traditional advertising, and there's a shift there, right? I always find it interesting that, if you look at the life cycle of a newspaper ad, it runs for one day. Hopefully it's very expensive. Hopefully the business, hopefully it works out and you get a ton of calls or purchases or whatever it might be. And then the very next day, it's a samosa wrapper at our local tea stall, right? Yet people will go for that. And then, but when we're looking at, hey, SEO, you're going to have content and videos and rankings, sometimes people sort of don't accept that it's even more tangible and long lasting than that sort of traditional ad. Digital ads versus SEO, look, we offer both. There also is a mind shift there. A lot of our, advertising clients enjoy the flexible budgeting and sort of turn it off, turn it on that comes with digital ads. Obviously, as we move to more automated campaigns, you really shouldn't be turning campaigns off because it can reset the machine learning and we get in dreaded learning mode. But, I think they accepted sort of money in and here's the output. Even if they don't get sales, there's a clear report on what they got for their spend, right? And then I see those clients in 2 buckets that enjoy that flexibility. The very ROI driven ones that kind of have higher budgets, and as long as it's profitable, let's keep growing. But then some of the most interesting ones are my small packer and mover clients. I'm really fascinated by them because they have their budget, but guess what? When their truck is booked for the week, they pause their ads, and it's completely logical. It fits perfectly in their business. And I think they'll have a struggle with, hey, SEO builds this long-term thing, and then you're going to get consistency, whereas they might not want it, right? So it is sort of that change in mindset of really building something versus a transactional, I paid, I'm in the paper, or these kind of things. For the second half, as far as checklists, I'd really break that into 2. You have, there's plenty of tactical checklists on the web. Don't need to create another one. I like, if you're looking for the SEO, what's their checklist? Aida Solis, she has a great learning path on learningtechseo.io. And then as far as the sort of checklist as a platform, I like SEMrush a lot. That's what we use, but everyone has an opinion, and the 3 are all good. But then if we back out, into more strategic or dare I say philosophical checklists, I think there's 2 core things. One is really what we have versus what we need. Your online assets, your content, your team resources, and then the network for link building. And that's really an interesting one to me is SEOs, know SEO, but they may not have that industry network that a company has. And again, that's why we want that buy-in from the entire, level of the company from top to the bottom, because I found, if we say, hey, we need a budget for link building or we need to do link building, it'll be different in Surat, in Chennai. It's kind of white linen, white dhoti, sort of the old timer, slightly different dress in Surat, but same concept, right? The chairman. If you say, hey, we need link building and this is the hours we need and what it costs, they might not go for it. But if you explain, hey, you know that competitor? There's more people on the website, on the internet, pointing at his website than there is at your website. And you sort of poke their ego a little bit. They'll get on board because they see it as a popularity, as a notoriety thing. And I've seen just that 30-minute, 1 hour with the chairman gets them on the phone. Wait a minute, I know the publisher of the newspaper, he can link to us, and I know the association and they'll link to us, and they do it, right? And it's just incredible and better SEO than any SEO could do. But you gotta, sort of inspire them and educate them and really get them moving on it. And then final part on my checklist is really understanding kind of where the company is versus where they need to be, right? Let me go ahead and share my screen. But essentially to break it up, I have it in 4, kind of I exist, I'm in business, I'm well known, and you know me, right? And then that determines what they're doing within the SEO space. I exist, I'm a new business. You need to get in the phone book, right? Of course, nowadays that's Google GBP, that's Bing Places, that's Just Dial, Suleika, these ones. The I'm in business, then you're sort of getting into social activity, local connects, and the kind of startup circuit. I'm well known, then you start getting events, associations, local media. And then you know me, a lot of the SEO, it's the SEO's job to sort of prep things and massage things for SEO, but a lot of linking is happening naturally. The media is covering the business. You just need to sort of, hey, can you make sure to include a link to this page and those sort of things, but you start getting approached for this stuff. So yeah, really at the core, challenges are about company buy-in, competition, and that mindset shift. Checklist, there's great tactical ones. Strategic is kind of what we have versus what we need, and getting that company network to work for you. And then where you are, where you want to be, and then bridging that gap. Yeah, so it comes to mind for me.
So let me add one more thing, Rob. When you were saying, so I just I just start getting that incident in my mind that there was a client, they approached us from Ahmedabad, and he wanted us to do search engine optimization, SEO activity, and he was spending somewhere 10,000 rupees per month with the local agency over there. And I said, sorry, sir, this is a very, very less budget. We cannot work with 10,000 rupees per month. And he started arguing that we are already getting results, they are generating the leads and this and that. So then we asked them to send us the report that agency must be sending them. And yeah, he sent us one report, and it was surprising to know that the agency was doing Google ads with the 10,000 rupees or maybe 8,000 rupees, 2,000 or 3,000 rupees they were having with them. And the client was thinking that I'm spending money on SEO. So these are the real life certain incidents that literally make you don't know, you don't understand how to react to it. But yeah, thank you for sharing your checklist.
My pleasure.
So we always put this thing, please send us previous agency's report.
Absolutely.
So this is something that I think so many people can add with their checklist also.
And then that gives your roadmap of undoing that work, and then you build. Yep.
Thank you so much, Rob. So yeah, so now I think going to Rohit. Rohit, see, like one thing that Rob has mentioned is about ROI. So I just want to understand that part also from you. But as we know that we are talking about the organic activity. So I just want to understand that what tools would you suggest businesses invest in? So this is again, the answer should go to the business owners and not to the SEO practitioners. So certain tools that businesses should invest in. And second question I want to get answer from you is that how a business can keep track of ROI with SEO activities and investment in tools. So there are two questions, Rohit, for you.
Got it. Good. First question, see, coming from startups. So I'm a very frugal and economical kind of like not by choice, but by direction. So because limited spends, you need to work around that, right? You need to have marketing percentage revenue, CM1, CM2, you have to figure the P&L and work around it. And after marketing, I see one of the biggest spends people do it is in tools, all this certain tools, fancy tools we even subscribe. And after using the first month, we don't even use it. I've seen that as well. So coming from that perspective, I think I would say your Google Analytics and your Search Console. These two tools will do 80% of your job. Okay. No fancy thing, nothing, strict to the basics, strict to the foundations. And it's not even an investment. Yeah, investment of your time, but no cost will be involved, right? And let's say, and you can think from a funnel perspective, right? Let's say if you want to write some blogs, you want to build SEO, basically you're figuring out to build traffic, increase your traffic, you'll be writing some content, right? So you'll be doing keyword research and all of that. That also you can easily do through Google Keyword Planner. Again, I'm not like a precise to 0.11, we have to this volume, that volume, but basically like you get a decent understanding about how the volumes are, which are higher ones, which are lower ones, and you can go ahead with it. So Planner, Console, and Analytics is my go-to 3 tools. Without any investment, 80% to 85% of your job is done. Once your basic setup is done. Now, then if basic setup is done, then sometimes I get curious, to learn about what competition is doing. Maybe what are their top traffic pages, or maybe how to beat what is the lowest hanging fruit. Let's say featured snippet analysis, or what are the keywords where I can quickly go from page 2 to suddenly from page 1 and start ranking 0 in featured snippet. All of that, I use Ahref, and I think you can use similar tools to Ahref, SEMrush, all of that are there. Again, don't go in highly, let's say, big packs and all of that. I remember days when I just did trial, put a credit card. Okay, I got credit card. I just get a basic understanding and then I go away. So like, again, economical and frugal way I'm telling you. So those I use. And now recently, I think from last 6 months, I've started using one extension called SEO Meta. Basically, whichever page you are there, you just click on it, it will tell you Meta H1, H2. That's for my own page. Just wanted to see, hey, have we done meta description properly or not? So instead of right-clicking and checking view page source, you can just directly click on an extension and you know it. So to summarize, it's very simple. Analytics, your GA, which is analytics, your console, and your keyword planner will do 80% of the job. You want to do some fancy things, play around? Yes, you can do. Use Ahref, SEMrush, any of those. And then SEO Meta is another additional tool. Again, the first and the third, there's no charges. Ahref charges some there's some trial, and then you have a paid service. Again, after this, if you go again advanced and you do audits, maybe for agencies really relevant, you use Screamfrog and all of those tools, crawler tools and all of that, that's relevant. If objective is like branding, maybe people know about you want to build trust, you want to build a thought leader, then you can't measure it through money. It's not like a short-term immediate, you can measure a charge, we have spend this much money to agency, to tools and this much. What money I'm getting, you can't say, like it's a branding thing, right? Moreover, you run remarket, whenever you land on any of your pages, you run remarketing. You never know what remarketing from what blog pages are coming, and eventually you're getting some acquisition from it, right? You really don't know. So there, the ROI is not that. The ROI is more like trust. Okay, this is the traffic I'm getting. I have a traffic. I can attribute that, okay, this much traffic will build some, overall kind of a trust in my system. There is no monetary specific ROI involved in branding as an activity, though you would want to have a control and have guardrails that the guardrails are my blended CAC and my blended acquisition or my blended whatever ROI you have. If you are in that guardrail zone, and if you want to allocate some spends to SEO for branding activities, go ahead and do that. But that, again, starts from the guardrail. These are my guardrail and how to move it. So just to summarize, if your objective is acquisition, 100%, you will start measuring ROI through money in, money out, whatever the money you're spending, whatever money you're getting. If the objective is not acquisition, more like branding, building trust, you can't measure through monetary initiatives. You can have a feel, okay, if my guardrails are met, then I'm good to go. Then I can spend some activities in branding.
Great, wonderful, wonderful. And I think that so many people would get their answer, because it is very crucial to understand the ROI. And I'm not going to stop talking about ROI only to Rohit. I'm going to stretch the same question to Malhar. So Malhar, again, you have 2 questions. So my first question will go like this, that now as an agency, we've seen that the company starts spending money with their SEO activities. After spending for a year or 2, even they start getting the results. At a certain point of time, they stop even doing SEO. So it's not like that they want to do it in-house, but they don't want to continue with the SEO activity. So this is a very, very, very common thing that I feel that so many agencies might be facing. So is it possible for a business to stop doing SEO, right? Anytime in that marketing activity? If yes, then when? And if not, then why not? So just keep this in mind that we are talking about some local Indian companies, not the big brands. And these are the companies who are having a good amount of budget to spend on digital. So they can afford, but then they might stop. So should they stop, and or they should continue with it? And yeah, the same question to you also with ROI. So how to track the ROI?
So I will go with the second question first, but before I go there, I just wanted to ask one question to Rohit on what he answered, if you allow me to, right? Yeah. So when you are answering about attribution, so from that perspective, do you give a certain weightage to each of those attributions that you are getting at a different stage? How do you divide that, or do you have some kind of say typically for us a lead would cost about $150 per lead, right? So do you attribute at a level that, okay, if at an awareness stage I have got a certain lead, it is this much cost, right? Do you do that kind of judgment to derive the ROI?
Yeah, no, I think not from within channel perspective, because it's not right to compare like let's say even SCM with SEO, or let's say any other channel with SCM, because there you're not even spending a money. The comparison is more towards, let's say, what kind of effort I'm inputting it. Let's say effort, monetary effort, let's say in terms of my agency fees, monetary effort in terms of backlinks, and monetary effort in terms of content production. It's a huge cost. You have to produce content, multiple blogs you need to write, all of that. So let's say if per month cost that I'm incurring is X, which is backlink, agency, anything, not even accounting fixed cost of people, 2-3 people working on it in-house, but just let's say apart from fixed costs, all of that marketing costs as such. Because for me, even we say SEO is free, eventually SEO is not free as such, because you're spending, not even accounting your what amount or time you spend with the team, but in general, like backlink, content production, and like if you're getting an agency, that also. So that cost as an input and output of what revenue you get. So you'll get like a return ROI kind of a thing, like how much you spent, how much you got. Similarly, that as a factor you can compare between channels. Let's say as a search, this amount of money I've spent, how much I've got it. But more than channel, it's more like, it's not a free money. I'm spending some amount of money. So let's say I've seen recently, I was spending like 13-14 lakh rupee, but I was getting just 2-3 lakh, right? But okay, I had a view that maybe in span of 6 months, it will turn around. I'll break even. But that kind of insight I need to have by when I'll get it, and by when I'll recover all the previous costs also. So it's more from a same channel perspective I do. So like ROI for that specific channel. I don't know if I answered your query, but
no, you did. So I guess you can debate about it for a long time.
I think Malhar is into the hashtag SEO talk more right now on Twitter.
No, but I think interesting thoughts. I think I know there are different perspectives to it, and I think the way we approach it as well. And I certainly respect that.
Absolutely. No, thanks for answering that. So Bhautik, to the second question, which is around ROI. So again, like say many of us, since we handle the P&Ls of the brands that we work with, it becomes very critical to justify the efforts that we put in, right? And that all the efforts, right? Manpower, content, links, everything that we do. And end of the day, right? Irrespective of what you are doing, brand awareness, you'd call it brand awareness, but end of the day, what business ask you, your CEO, CFO is going to ask you, what's lead kitna hai, dhanda kitna mila, right? So it always has to be divided on the leads that you are getting, right? Out of all the efforts, because again, like you say, if you are putting out content, and this has happened. So recently, some of the business that we were working with, right? And when we looked at it, they're fabulous content engines, right? So they would post out content, blogs, right? 2 blogs in a week, 3 blogs in a week, right? End of the day, so I say, what is this generating, right? What are you getting out of this, right? And then we realized, boss, these guys are not getting even 5,000 hits in a month, right? They're like, with that effort, I cannot justify as a P&L owner, right? So आप धंधे की बात कर रहे हो, अगर धंधे में आपका रिटर्न नहीं मिल रहा है, लीड नहीं मिल रहा है, आप kitna content, like, and I had this question, right? So they're putting out podcasts, they were putting out videos, they were putting out articles, they were getting into backlink. It was उसके बाद भी ये 5,000 hits आया, right? Then there is something seriously wrong. And then it goes to the next part of the entire series, that how are they coming in and how are they producing content, right? Have they even evaluated whether there is a business need for that content, right? Because your content writer, right? Again, if you are given to external writers, right, you are spending, say someone was telling me like about 15 rupees or 20 rupees a word, right? And then, right, if you are not going to deliver that output, आपने अपने धंधे को समझा नहीं है, right? Don't understand that business and just pushing content, it does not help. So for every business, right, that ROI, right, you have to justify, get the leads, right? First is, do you have that lead pipeline in place, right? Most of the business don't even have that lead pipeline. उनको पता ही नहीं कि मेरा वेबसाइट का ऑब्जेक्टिव लीड जनरेशन है, वो ही नहीं पता है, right? तो वो ब्रांड अवेयरनेस नहीं है. ब्रांड अवेयरनेस इज वन स्टेज ऑफ इट. ब्रांड अवेयरनेस के बाद you have to go down that funnel, right? So that you always divide your efforts, right? Whatever efforts that you put in, divide by leads, and that month on month, quarter on quarter, that cost per lead has to come down. If that is not coming down, I guess the marketing team, the digital team, the content team, probably they are not doing the right kind of work, right? So unfortunately, that's a reality, right? So because the marketing head has to be very careful of how they are defining these teams and defining their KRS. Even if they are recruiting an agency, right, they need to take care of all those metrics, because end of the day, dhande ki baat hai.
Yeah, I think I want to just add to it. I think rightly said, CPLs, right? So really important. So the ROI which I was referring to, it was like one step ahead, where lead to payment. Let's say you get a lot of leads, but what if they didn't convert to acquisition? What's the point of those leads? So I said, what is the revenue you get it? Let's say the money you get it, divide by how much amount of effort you spend it. And I've seen like we generate a lot of leads from different pages. They just submit a lead or get to download a PDF. End of the day, they download the PDF. You have thousands of leads. What do? You have wasted sales team effort to dial. No one converts. So like, what are the revenue? And then maybe we divide. But yeah, I think we're on the same page on that thought. It's
Absolutely.
really
No,
important.
that MQL to SQL conversion, that becomes so much important, right? मतलब marketer को क्या होता है? अरे मैंने तो अपना काम कर दिया, मैंने तो lead लाके दे दिया, PDF download करवा दिया, मेरा काम हो गया. अरे boss. And then the marketing head is through every meeting.
Absolutely.
It is good one. PDF download हो गया.
So end of the day, you have to, let's say acquisition channel, right? Say if you think it is an acquisition channel, then you have to justify the revenue. You have to justify the ROIs as any other channel is suggesting or mentioning. So yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
so I think ROI, and I think how much client is ready to spend money, how the businesses are spending money, and I think this is a very common thing everywhere. It is. So we were thinking that maybe when you work with the bigger brands like Affle, maybe the things might be different. But as we know that crows are black everywhere, and this is what it is coming out to be like that.
No, so Bhautik, what happens is it's not really about the brand, but it's about the maturity of the team and the processes that are put in place, right? Because मतलब पहले से खिचड़ी चल रहा है तो वो खिचड़ी चलता रहेगा, right? वो you cannot.
True.
It's and it's a very bad term to use, but you cannot cure cancer with a band-aid.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
You have to take the right measures, and you have to go through that proper channels.
Absolutely. So Rob, now coming to you, because we are running out of time as well. So I just want to understand that, because we are talking about both the parties. We are talking about the agencies. We are also talking about the clients. What thing both of these parties should consider while choosing each of them? So like how the businesses should select agency, and vice versa, how the agency should select the client. That is it a good client to go with, or just keep it aside? they are not going to work for more than 3 months. Let us don't waste our time. Let us move ahead. So what are your points? What are thoughts on this?
Right. So obviously client retention is important to any business under the sun. Particularly, remember, we cut our teeth on the paid ad side. There, it was even more important because break even typically would happen month 3, month 4 for the agency. So essentially, if you're just winning clients and they're churning, you are losing money, right? Better just kind of stay home. So I appreciate that sort of we need to look at both sides of this, right? For a true match made in heaven, right? So I think some of that for the business looking at the agency does go back to where they are in that life cycle, right? And does the agency work with clients of like, you know, the same size, the space, the goals, the budget, and then kind of the other stuff like language, location, schedule, all of those things. And remember, sometimes an SEO can be too mature for where a business is, right? If there's the plumber that says, hey, I just started my business and you know, I want some customers to start coming in and seeing me, and you devise this content strategy and you launch his podcast and this and that, it's just not a good fit, right? He just needs the phone to ring. You start him out with a great places page and some review nurturing initiative, and that's kind of where he wants to be, right? So looking at those things, then for businesses of all sizes, that level of aggressiveness, and is this search engine ranking growth at all costs, or do they need to consider brand guidelines and these sort of things, right? If you take, you know, if you have an online gambling SEO, right? Comfortable in adult sites and buying links and this, and they work for an NGO, it might be weird, right? I have a real world example of this where a friend of mine is a lawyer, an advocate, right, in the US. And he tied up someone, said, hey, we'll send you leads. And truly, he started getting leads and he was happy. But then the leads started making these crazy demands of him. He goes, you know, what's going on? And ultimately, it was the affiliate promising things that not only he couldn't do, like guaranteeing acquittal on criminal charges and these sort of things, he could actually run afoul of the bar, right? So really, outside of the basic business stuff is what's that sort of risk reward tolerance, right? Sometimes it's a fly-by-night site where it does make sense to sort of go heavy on paid links, because if it goes away, you can just put up another domain, right? But for a long brand, you know, long McDonald's is not going to risk a penalty because they're not going to just change their name to McDonald's, right? Whereas, hey, best life insurance quote.co.in, yeah, maybe you are aggressive and you sort of pump things into it, right? And then I appreciate sort of that both sides of it. Is there a shared vision, right? I think oftentimes the best clients come with a pretty vague mandate of, I know I can be getting more customers online. What do we do? How do we help? And that sort of thing, right? Whereas other ones come with, hey, I need 10,000 do follow links and job postings and this and that. And it comes off very weird, and they're not letting us lead, right? Now for us, remember, we do both outsourcing, kind of the secret Indian office, if you will, the BPO, KPO side, as well as direct clients. So we see both, right? On the outsourcing side, you will get those rote tasks, but there's that clear understanding of, look, we're following the process document you gave us, we'll hold our nose and do it, even if we don't think it's the best technique. Whereas most of our clients are, you know, sort of new to digital or this sort of thing. Here's your check, go do SEO, I trust you. And we lead the way and sort of push them for what we need. I find it can get ugly if there's not a delineation between which relationship it is, right? So really kind of defining that. And then mentioned it in one of the previous questions, but will the client help us, right? And that's going to be critical because, again, the SEO, they know SEO, they have resources and techniques, but they can't work in isolation, right? Whereas is the marketing manager willing to get them in front of the whole company, Can we do a training session? So SEO is a mindset across all marketing activities and all of those sort of things. Right now, we're in a bit of a internal debate as we're revisiting our SEO packages because clients want number of keywords, price, guarantee. Whereas we're getting more into, you know, kind of entities and these sort of things and content clusters, not sort of this term, right? So we're trying to figure out really what that balance is, where solutions we believe in, packages that are profitable for us and effective for the client, but ultimately we do need to sell them, right? So we're still sort of sorting that out. A lot of the old mindset stuff the client wants, but kind of bringing some methodology to it that's current. I mean, best case there is, you know, instead of, you know, you get a lot of these packages, 10 links, 3 posts, 2 videos, and we're guilty of it too, because clients want to buy something tangible. But best case, there's really a sort of multidisciplinary team leveraging client assets, working towards that shared goal, right? And so really needs to be that collaborative effort with kind of give and take on both sides, the client and the agency. Yes, that's where I am.
Give and take, absolutely. So Rohit, before we wind up this panel discussion, very quickly, I want to understand from you. But now this time, I just want to understand from the perspective of startup. If a startup is aiming to hire an SEO agency, what top 2, 3, 4 checklist the startup company should focus on? Rohit.
First, I think the very first thing, which category they are in and what's the potential of volumes and let's say the queries they have. Let's say they're in a category where people are really, let's say in my healthcare, where people are curious. They want to search more about diabetes, diet plan, diabetes doctor, diabetes, anything related to the chronic care. It's the intent itself in the categories, they want to search more about it. Then there are categories where people even don't know about, like I did this with coding for kids, edutech, right? So coding for kids specifically didn't have a very huge volume in terms of people search because people don't know it. It was not mature as a category. So they were just searching coding for kids or online coding classes for kids. That's all. No awareness, no consideration, nothing. It was just conversion funnel, right? So it depends. First thing is, what is your traffic potential or revenue potential? So I think first I always calculate, okay, this is, if I get this much traffic, this is like my normal conversion rate, traffic to lead submission. Let's say all the brands that I've worked with are more lead generation and leads converts to payment. So I divide like awareness, consideration, conversion. Conversion query anyways I'm getting through search ads. So I know my traffic to lead submission. I know my lead submission to payment percentage. That's my very best benchmark. So awareness, I'll take a dip multiple. I know it, since the intent is not that high, maybe the same form fill rate won't be there. Maybe the same lead to payment percentage may or may not be there. So accordingly, I calculate my revenue potential from traffic potential. If it is high, if it is decent enough, can it become like a repeatable and scalable channel? Because in startups, actually every minute counts. You can't spend time and effort chasing channels which won't lead early results. So the whole objective, like when we have is before PMF, and I think during PMF and after PMF is this channel repeatable and scalable? If the channel is repeatable, basically that means month on month, I can keep getting revenue from it. And I can also scale it, scalable. As a Facebook ads for me is repeatable and scalable. White hat, just never thought about anything else. Nothing, no affiliate, no partnership, no schools. एक बार एक क्रैक कर लिया हाँ फेसबुक चल रहा है तो चल रहा है भाई like it's working for me. The why thinking about like let me just perfect my game there, right? So it's very crucial to know your repeatable scalable channel. So that is one. If that is you have found out and you know and you think you're sorted, you go deep dive there. Like don't, because every minute counts there. But if you think there's a lot of traffic potential, let's say in healthcare, I know there's a lot of traffic potential. You can get acquisition, you can get revenue. Go, I think that should also be a channel one has to start. So understand, first point is understand, is it a revenue potential channel? Basis on, is it a traffic, you have traffic potential? That's point one. Point two, let's say if it has revenue and traffic potential, sometimes, most of the times it happens is, let's say, when I say, there are two ways to understand SEO, as I was mentioning. One is acquisition, where you directly get revenue, right? But when you get a lead to payment, many people say that my lead to payment percentage is not that great. Let me do some branding activity. Let me get my word out so people know about it. So they're ready to spend money on paid push branding, but they're not even thinking about someone is searching for the problem on Google. And what about pull branding? Let's say you say pull and push marketing, right? So I have this term that what is about pull branding? Like here on Facebook, they're not even thinking about you. You want to put across, spend some X budget on branding, thinking your bottom funnel will improve. But here the user is in pain. He's asking for a solution to you. Like he's asking, can you give me a diet plan? Can you give me a South Indian diabetic diet plan? What's the point of spending like lakhs or crores of rupees on YouTube and all in branding activities where you can't solve a basic need of a user who is searching for it, right? So I think from that perspective, like anything in a user journey related to your category, if he's asking anywhere or he's having there, you have to be present. So that it may not lead to direct acquisition, but yes, bro, like maybe not, you can attribute it, okay, immediately saying acquisition and all of that, though one has to, but lead to it certainly improves your lead to payment percentage, because if they have searched diabetic diet plan, they got me on the top, they learned something and the value added content is there. 3 days, 4 days later, they will search best diabetes doctor in Bangalore. I'm also there. If I'm keep adding value, certainly they'll see my Facebook ad someday. They'll, okay, I know this brand. It writes good content. Maybe I'll go and click and go move there, right? So one is traffic potential, search potential. Second, even if there is no potential, if you're anyway spending in branding, push branding, like think about spending in pull branding. So, and it's a great book called They Think You Answer by Marcus Sheldon. I think it's an exceptional book in content marketing. He says exactly that. In the whole user journey, just map it out. Whatever he's asking, searching, you just be there. People even search different brands, right? So they used to do CamK12 versus White Hat. I was in CamK12. And like, let's say Quora was ranking. And if you're not there, you have lost the game. Doesn't matter, you're getting a lead, you're getting a revenue, 1 rupee, no, 2 rupee, no. If you're searched, you are not a thought leader there, you're not providing value. Even if they've submitted a lead through Facebook, they won't convert it because the journey is, it's not like linear. Like they'll put a lead and they'll sit back, they'll wait for a call and they'll, okay, pay, get the money. People now search on Google, they'll search, is it good? What's the review of this? So all of this influences the bottom funnel, okay? So if the queries are there, if there is a traffic potential, 100% one has to invest. Point is when you should invest, that depends on stage of your company. Maybe during PMF, before PMF, you're still not sure what to do. You don't have a stable, repeatable acquisition channel. You're not aware. So maybe you prioritize your priority keywords, priority like reviews, this versus this. All of that you should be sorted, which is basic hygiene. But if you want to build through blogs, go more up the funnel awareness consideration, that you do a bit after PMF, where you know that, okay, I'm sorted, I have an acquisition channel, there is a need, there is a demand. Okay, I know which product to go forward with, so that everything is sorted. And that's how I'll prioritize it. So factors are, like say traffic potential, like revenue potential, yes, no. Even if no, in the whole stage of the journey, I'll map it out and have to be there depending upon my stage of my company. This is how I'll sort it out.
So like, I think there's an entire dictionary, or you can say the guide you have given for the startups. And I believe that startups are going to take it not only from this session, but lately they are going to take it from our YouTube channel or maybe from the social networking side as well when we are going to upload this video. So yeah, it's so important for the startup also to understand so many different things, not only about, as you have mentioned, that push and pull. They have to understand. I was seeing that Malhar was smiling when you were talking about push and pull, because these are something, the very basic marketing terminologies that when we talk about the heavy language, chat-gpt and this and that, you forget the very basic fundamentals. So I loved it that you brought all these terminologies, the very basic and the very fundamental. So gentlemen, thank you so much, because we are already running out of time and we still have 2 speakers and we are looking forward to hear to them as well. So I am thankful to Rob, Malhar and Rohit for spending your time, and I'm expecting you to host you again in the future. And yeah, on the different topic with a different theme. So bye from now till the time we meet next. So Pragya, over to you. Thank you so much.
Thanks again. Great stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
So I would like to thank you, our panel members. The points are very well covered by our panelist and moderator to prove that SEO is unquestionably a recession-proof investment. And you would have all consented to it, is it? Yes or no? किसी का कुछ कमेंट एंड ऑल नहीं आ रहा, पर अभी तो आधे रास्ते ही आए हो, पिक्चर तो अभी बाकी है मेरे दोस्त। थकना मना है, बिकॉज हमने अभी तक 50% ही कवर किया, 50% कवर इज लेफ्ट. So as we will be looking forward to the additional factors that will add value to this investment, I would like to add Miss Parul Gupta, who will shed light on how to design SEO-friendly website UI UX elements. Before she begins, let me introduce her. She is a self-taught designer who started out as an engineer. She quit a steady job after 2 years to pursue design as a career and began her journey in an AI startup. She subsequently spent 2.5 years as a product designer at the leading edtech company Byju's, where she is now utilizing her skills as a design manager at Polygon, an emerging giant in the Web 3.0 world. We welcome you, Parul.
Thank you, Pragya. Thank you so much for the very nice introduction. Definitely. First of all, it's really great to be here because this is my first time attending a SEO and marketing event, being a designer. And I'm loving the energy here. There's so much passion. And I really love the last point that Rohit had added about push and pull marketing. And he talked about user journey. That piqued my interest a lot because that's what we also do. We create user journeys. We map them out to understand and help users achieve the goal. So let me share my screen going forward with the topic. I am not able to share my screen. Can anybody help me with that? Hello? Okay. Okay, I'll try again. Yes, I can now. Just a minute, I just have to allow. Guys, I have to just quit for 1 minute to allow. Let me just join back.
Yeah, sure, definitely take your time.
Okay, I'm really sorry for the hassle. So I'll start now. Okay, I'm here. I'll just present. Can everybody see my screen now? Okay. So, okay, the topic is how to create a SEO-friendly website UX. So I already had my introduction. So I'll directly start with, first of all, what is UI UX, right? I hope everybody would know here, but I'll just start with a very simple example of a difference between UI UX. Let me take an example of ordering from Swiggy, right? So taking examples, today you want to add, you have a craving for eating a sandwich and you want to order a sandwich. What will you do? You might open Swiggy or Zomato. Probably I'll open Swiggy. And what I'll do, what will be my flow be? Maybe I'll open Swiggy. I know I want to order sandwich. I'll go and search for the sandwich. I'll see a list of restaurant. I'll see, okay, which is the highest rating restaurant. I'll select one of them. And then what will I do is I'll maybe add it to the cart and do a checkout, right? Now, in all of this, if I ask you, maybe you must be recalling your own experience about ordering. How many of you would be actually remembering, okay, how did the search box look? Was it orange? Was it gray? How did the rating design look? How did what was the typography, right? There are different questions that can be asked about that. And maybe some of you would remember, but some of you would be like, okay, I don't remember exactly what the colors were like. So, but if I asked you, how was the experience? You'd be like, oh, I was able to complete the checkout successfully. So maybe it was good because I was supposed to order a sandwich and I did order a sandwich. So we call it a good user experience. You did it very smoothly. But if there was a small glitch, maybe somehow you kept clicking add to cart, and it was not adding, what would happen? You will get really frustrated. You will get annoyed. Okay, why is it not adding? What is wrong with the app, right? And it's called bad user experience. So this is UX, where we talk about feelings. We talk about the emotions, the sentiments of the user journey, what I want to do, was I able to do, was I able to achieve what I want to do, and was I able to achieve it conveniently? Was it satisfying, right? And UI is all about the colors, the typography, the images. We might not really notice it, but it always stays somewhere in our maybe background that, okay, it looked really good. The UI was really good, but maybe we might not be able to spot out small differences possibly. So this is a difference between UX. UX is what you feel about the user journey. UI is what you see exactly on screen, but you might not remember in the end, okay? So this is a difference between UX and UI and a definition of UX and UI too. I'll go further. So now we have already thought of a time about a bad experience, but think of a time about websites too. Were those times, just type yes if you have felt those, were those times where you went to a website and you were not able to find something that you really wanted to? You were scanning through, maybe you wanted to order something like a steam iron from a marketplace and you're not able to find it. The search is not working, the navigation is not working. How will you feel? It will be annoying, right? Or you might be clicking on a button and it's not giving you a feedback. There's so much uncertainty around it that, okay, there's no error. Why is the button not working? You'll be like, okay, I'll just leave the website because it's not working. There will be this annoying little feeling that will feel, and you'll feel like rushing to the, I don't know whom, okay, the website really sucks or it's so bad. Not literally, but yeah, you might be really annoyed about that. Okay. So yes, I'm talking about UX here. And if you are reading this, that should we optimize UX and to achieve a better SEO, to achieve a better ranking, then yes, I'm telling you, yes, we should, right? Okay, now we talked about, okay, UX, but why should SEO care about UX? What is it? Why SEO should be thinking about, oh, we need to improve the UX? Yes, we do, because search engines, and the major one, which is Google, right? That is actually taking up a lot of industry, the bigger amount of the industry, it's Google and Bing, they all care about it. Why they care about it? Because they are also a product. They care about better user experience. If a user is coming out to search something, writing a query, and we don't write like queries like, okay, I want to search about this, I want to search about maybe Apple. We will like, okay, is Apple good for health? Should I eat apple, right? These are the queries that people search for. And this is how we actually optimize content in our websites. And that's why Google also want to give the best possible answers for the queries that users are searching for. Second, search engines are getting really smart. Yeah, it really relates to the first point, because as the competition is increasing, right? As the number of products are increasing, like everybody is like, okay, we want to rank first. And that's why the search engine is also getting smarter. They want to give better results. It's not bots who are using the search. It's not bots who are actually searching, who are using the products later. So it's actually humans, right? And to give humans a better experience, you have to think like them. Third, SEO as a job is really evolving. And again, the point of competition comes here. It's not like there is only one product in fintech, one product in maybe e-commerce. It's like there are millions of products selling the same features. How can we rank our website first? And why should the users actually use us first, right? And that's why SEO is constantly thinking about the ways, okay, how should I rank first? Why should my website be at first rank, right? Why should users find me quicker, right? Okay, so these are the reasons why search engines, they care. And the next part is, okay, we understood, okay, why search engines do care. But okay, how, if we think about, okay, SEO, if you don't really care about UX, will user Google or maybe Bing will be able to catch me? Oh yes, they will be able to catch you because they are constantly tracking all the steps and all the things about UX that should be really tracked. Okay, we'll go forward and learn about, okay, what are the things that actually search engines are really tracking about UX. First is it evaluates the bounce rate, right? Browsing time. What is bounce rate? It's about percentage of users that are actually coming to a website and getting away from your website only after visiting the first page. They are actually not getting engaged or their browsing time is less. Yes, Google is evaluating these things. But how does it relate to UX? When you talk about bounce rate or browsing time, when people are actually coming to the website, if they are not getting engaged in the website, if the website is not giving them what it is supposed to give, right, then users will not stay on the website. That means there will be a decrease in the browsing time and there will be decrease of interest and people will go out faster and they might not even visit back. So the frequency of visits is also counted. There's a very famous meme about this. The best place to hide a dead body is page 2 of the Google search results, because many, like out of like 100 websites, like 80 websites, people don't even go to the second page. They just return back from the first page outside, right? Second is responsiveness. This survey was done by Integro 2022 SEO stats. It's done in 2022, and they say like 55% of all worldwide internet traffic comes from mobile devices. If 55% of all worldwide traffic is coming from their mobile, that means we have to start looking at mobile, how we actually are providing experience there. We'll talk about it later, how we can do that. Third is information architecture. We'll talk about this also, but information architecture is, what is information architecture actually? Like, listen to me carefully, because information architecture is the art of organizing the labels in your website such that a user is able to discover and find those labels quicker and in the fewest clicks possible, right? The navigation that you're providing on your website, it should be easy. The user, when they're coming, they should be easily be able to find what they're coming for and in the fewest clicks possible. That means it says less than 3 clicks actually. Less than 3 clicks, your user should be find what they're looking to find for. Quality of internal and external links. The links that we're adding on the products or the websites that we have, it's now being actually evaluated. How, when the user goes to the backlinks or the external links that you've added, were they useful enough, right? The quality that we're adding, was the information that was provided on those links valuable for users? That is also now being evaluated. So yeah, all of these adds up to that, okay, Google knows that if the website has a good UX or not, and they are counting on that to rank you higher or lower. So, okay, what are the tips to improve your website UX? We are finally there. The first one is definitely improving the information architecture, right? We have already talked about the definition. I hope you remember. It's about how we organize the labels in our website, how we organize the navigation such that it's very, very easy to find out what the user is looking for, or especially what they are expecting to find for, right? So there are a few tips that how we can improve the information architecture. First is define the clear objective of website and individual pages that we have. In defining a clear objective would mean if you have a website, you ask yourself, why I'm making the website? What does the website will achieve? What will it achieve from users, or what the user will achieve from it? So suppose I'm building a marketplace. So the question will be, okay, what do users want to achieve from here? They want to actually buy a product from here. What product, right? So how do you really organize the navigation? If I want, suppose, maybe geyser, where would the geyser lie in? Geyser would lie in electrical products. Electrical products, where would they live in, right? It would live in maybe household items, where will it be? Maybe products. So these are different categories that can be actually defined. But how do we define these categories? Another part. Second is logical information relationship. Logical information would mean how we really define a relationship between two things, right? If we say, okay, fruits, will apple and orange sit together? Yes, they would sit together. Features, features should sit together. In account, the profile information, the settings, that should sit together. That is how we actually define the logical information. Preparing sitemaps. Sitemaps is a thing right now. It's like preparing a small flow of navigation, and actually developers who are making it, they can submit it to Google. There are crawlers who can actually crawling through those when user actually gives a query, right? They are searching, crawling through those navigation steps and finding out that particular navigation label where the user wants to go. But if it's complex, user wouldn't be able to go. So giving out a proper sitemap, which will actually help giving out Google a proper sitemap or information architecture from your website. One of the examples is from Spotify, how they are actually giving out information architecture. They have a home. What would you expect to really find in home? Everything. Maybe you want to listen songs. What they are personalizing, they are giving a made for you section. They are giving, you might also like, what would you like? They are giving you, okay, what did you recently play? This is all what I would expect, because I have a certain taste for music. When I'm going to home, I would be like, okay, I want to play again that music which I like, not like every day a new music. Maybe I would like to search for it definitely, but maybe I want a customized homepage for myself. Browse, the perfect soundtrack for you, right? It is giving you those labels where whatever you want new releases, you can search from here. You want podcasts, you can search from here. Search, they're giving the top results first. So information architecture, this information architecture is always really should be thought before we actually design a website or redesign a website. We have, and there are different ways to do it. One of a very, very popular way in R is card sorting, right? You call in some of the users or some unbiased users especially, or you sit with your team and you make small cards. You make small cards about whatever these, it is a very simple example of it, but you can actually make small cards about whatever your product relates to. So you can write those small, you can write the categories. So here we have train, apple, bus, oranges, and you give those categories to your users. You just spread them out and you give those cards to the participants. Then what you ask them to do is you will ask them to, okay, please group them into maybe whatever you think, group them into logical groups. And now users will start trying to, whatever they think, whatever according to them, they don't know what's going to be on the website, but they're like, okay, I think this has a logical relationship with this. So I'll put this together. So yeah, train, bus, bike, they put together, apple, oranges, they put together. And the last activity is putting those labels into groups, right? Train, bus, bike, are they vehicles? Yes, they are vehicles. So this is how we think. And this is how, if we are talking about websites, if we have certain, okay, what my website provides is a question and we have written them down. So we'll collect all those things that website has provided and we'll categorize them into features. That is a theme. So this is how card sorting is used to actually prepare an information architecture. Okay, we'll move to the second point. Optimizing content. I think this part is something that you would know internally much better about how to really optimize the content, like keywords, how to make the statements, what are different tools for that. But what's first of the point is we have to, apart from doing everything, the quality of the content is really important. Like optimizing the content closer to what a user can search. Suppose I am searching for how can I lose weight, right? And if I click on I type the query, how can I lose weight? And I was expecting something else maybe. And the user and the Google takes me to the web page where it's actually showing me some of the medicines that I can take to lose weight. I'm like, oh, what is it showing? I don't want to see that. Maybe I wanted to see exercises, right? And there can be maybe a lack of or difference of expectation what I wanted. So I'll be crawling around different links. Okay, second link, third link. And the third link, if I find it better, the value of it, the content is better, then I'll be most likely to visit that again and again. So the quality really matters. Second is supporting the content with images, animations, infographics, right? So second example, suppose maybe I'm doing yoga, right? And I'm searching for, okay, how can I do better yoga? And I go to a website where there's no image. And it just shows me the name of asanas and okay, this is the posture that you can make and no images, nothing. I'm like, so what it will really do is I would really need those images. A content can't explain me that, okay, how the posture of a yoga should be. An infographic image, maybe animations can really help me know. And a video would be a lot better. It will keep me engaged. I'll maybe stay on that website, note that down, make notes, learn from it. And that content will be really helpful for me. So that is what second point of optimizing content would mean. That would it means that make users engaged on your product, make users engaged on your content. Third is provide more context to your content. It also matches to the example what I told you earlier, having the videos, that is a little context. But if you see on Amazon, right, it is providing you FAQs with respect to your content. What can be my questions? Where can I find the answers? It's about that. Provide more context. So user spends more time on there to understand what you want to say. But if user doesn't understand, they will definitely are meant to leave your website. Third is reducing the friction. This is a lot helpful in UX, where we are actually defining the user journey. We talk a lot about, okay, how can we make the goal of a user achievable quite quickly and effectively? How can it be really convenient, right? So suppose we are reading a blog and, if a user wants to finish something reading first, lot of the times what happens is that a lot of ads coming up, popping up in between. Okay, the website was supposed to be a reading website. And if I come there and I can't even complete that one task properly, then it won't be of any use. There are different places we can put the ads, advertisement, but without actually hampering the user experience. This is something that I just figured out in the morning. I was just watching the Times of India. I was actually going to a Times of India blog, and I was actually seeing that video, and suddenly this ad pops up. And I was seeing the video, I want to finish it quicker. Why the ad is popping up? And many times there's something, this kind of blog is there, and then suddenly app pops like aloo le lo, kandha le lo. So this is not something I was expecting. There are different places that you can place this, like on the sides, on the bottom, but without hampering the way I want to read my blog, without hampering the goal that I want to first achieve. If I am not motivated to click on that ad or achieve it, I won't really not click it, right? So it doesn't matter if you show it on the top or you show it in a pop-up. So one of our other stats is 86% of people ignore paid banner ads, choosing to only click on organic search results. And that is really true, 86% of people. So it's a thing to think, why are we doing that a lot? Improving a loading time. I know everybody would know it, but again, stats say that bounce rates increase by 9% if your websites take 2 seconds to load, and 38% if your sites take 5 seconds to load. So yeah, we can't really compromise on the loading time. But there are technically many things that can actually be helpful to improve the loading time. So if I'm on a website, it's not opening, it's taking a lot of time to load, I might not stay, because these days the patience of humans have really decreased a lot. They can't wait. Internet is so fast, you can't really wait to see that buffering happening. You'll just land onto another website and get your work done. No loading time, right? So first is optimizing images and video sizes, maybe. This is something from design perspective that we do. We were recently working on website, and that's what the first thing that we did. We, first of all, by maintaining the quality, we actually optimized. We took a high quality image, but compressed it to while it maintains the quality, and also to actually decrease the load time a little bit so that it doesn't take a high time to load. And there are different formats also that you can actually use for video, for images, GIF, etc., and reduce the sizes of it to give your website a better experience, at the same time giving the images as well. Second is avoid inline JS and CSS files and enable compression. So this is a little technical, but we normally do it where you shouldn't write JS and CSS files within the website code itself. It should be always external, because once a website is loading, it actually starts loading the whole code together. This should not happen. It should be progressive, right? So while the website is loading, it should take the external CSS to actually load fast. So this is one of the examples to actually improve the loading time. The last example, of course, we talked about responsiveness, that okay, 55% people are actually coming through mobile, and more than half of smartphone users have discovered a new company or product while using a search engine on their phone. So why not? So Google has already a time back realized it, and now it's high time when we start thinking about mobile first websites also. If you want your product to be used more, people are actually searching through mobile first, right? They're going to the mobile and actually searching for your product. But if your mobile doesn't have a good experience, they might possibly just leave, or they might bounce out. So websites that are mobile friendly will actually outrank non-friendly websites in mobile search results. And that's what is a fact these days. So also mobile friendliness is actually now a ranking signal too, to detect user. If when a user searches on mobile, it's also taking mobile in consideration while they're ranking your website. So these are few points which we can actually remember. There are other points too, but with time constraint, I'm not going deep into any of the point. But these are few of the points which we can actually take care about the UX, the user journeys, how we can reduce the friction, the hurdles that user can actually face through the website. We have to see that, okay, if the SEO definitely starts before we actually land into the website, we click, the clicks happen, we land into the website. But what happens in the website actually decides if the user is going to visit again, and that would actually define the success of that product, right? So yes, the UX plays a high role in actually defining that, okay, users be engaged in your website, they love your website and they come back again and again, right? So that's where UX and SEO should collaborate together. In our company, we have started collaborating with our PMMs to work on our websites and how to make it better. So this is how we can collaborate, and these are the tips that we have. And okay, thank you. It's quite late here, I'm hungry, but just kidding. These are the profiles that you can contact me on. Thank you so much for being very patient and listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Parul. You truly said right that SEO and UX need to be collaborated. There are very great examples that you have covered here. Absolutely, it will be a great help to novice UI UX designers to improve their website search engine visibility. As well, it will be essential to make sure that your website should be visually appealing to enhance your user experience. In fact, I have observed and I would like to thank attendees that they are from start till now. They are with us. So kahin jayega nahi. We are moving forward as we have seen how SEO is an investment in recession, as well as how content and UI UX designing are playing an important role in enhancing the SEO vision in 2023. So now I would like to move on to Mr. Boni Satani, who would enlighten us on how to streamline outreach activities to build digital authority. Before he begins, let me introduce him. He is the SEO head and partner at Zestard Technologies, a digital agency that helps companies build profitable online businesses by delivering scalable e-commerce stores and growing them with digital marketing services. With 10 years of experience, he has delivered talks at Brighton SEO, SamRush, WordCamp, Serbzilla, eChai, Rajkot Tech, and Search Bound on topics like link building, technical SEO, and marketing. His work has appeared in Search Engine Journal, Fit Small Business, Your Story, D-Zone, and many more well-known publications. So we welcome you, Mr. Boni.
Yep. Thank you so much, Pragya, for a fantastic introduction. Yeah. All right. Should I take this forward?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, awesome. So first of all, thank you everyone, all the participants for, staying till date. I mean, this is like the last session of the day, and I hope, your goal of waiting till late becomes fruitful by learning from what I'm going to share. Thanks to the entire team at iVIPANAN for organizing this wonderful event. Let me kickstart my deck so that we start talking about that. All right. So my talk is basically around link building. It is one of the most talked about subject. Everybody loves to talk about link building, how people create links and stuff, and everybody also acknowledges that it's not easy to build the right type of links. So in today's talk, we're going to focus on more of like a process thing, like exactly what should be your process so that you can build the right type of links and then scale in that aspect. But before that, just a very brief introduction about myself. Pragya already talked about it, but just a few seconds. So I call myself as a T-shaped marketer. So what's a T-shaped marketer? So it's someone who has a deep knowledge in one field, for me, which is SEO and link building, but has a good understanding of all the various facets of digital marketing, like let's say PPC or social media marketing or email marketing. I have hacked the knowledge graph. So if you search my name in Google, you will find a knowledge panel about me. And I have been recognized as a digital PR and link building expert by Digital Olympus. Since we do link building, we have helped our clients featured on well-known sites like MSN, Yahoo, Business Insider, and such. All right. So jumping right into my topic, just a disclaimer for people, this is going to be a very detailed process-oriented approach to link building. So it could be a bit of boring at times, but this is very important. So 3 steps that we have that we use internally to streamline our link building activities. The step 1 is analyzing the intent of this target keyword and pages, performing the backlink gap analysis, and step 3 is preparing and launching a campaign. I'm not going into discussing what is link building, why link building is important, because everybody present here already knows the impact. I'm directly jumping into a topic where you know exactly how we do it and what we do it. And all the steps you will be able to connect at the end of this session. So when let's say a client comes to you and the client says that, hey, I want to do link building, or let's say if you're working in an in-house project, your own website that you're working at an organization, and they said, hey, let's build a link, then the very first step that you guys have to do is to analyze the search intent of your target keyword and the page. So what is search intent? So search intent is basically the purpose of the main user. Like when somebody is searching a particular query in Google, what exactly is looking for, that's the intent. So a lot of times we guess search intent, or a lot of times we don't even look at the search intent. So like, how do you actually look at a search intent? One of the ways of looking at a search intent is by just looking at the Google SERP. Let's understand that through an example. Let's say a client asks you that if you want to rank an article on the query, how to get rid of pimples, should you create an article topic of how to get rid of pimples, or should you create an article with a topic of how to get rid of pimples fast? Let's make it a bit interactive. The people who think it's A, type in A in the chat box, and the people who think it's B, type in B in the chat box. So the question is very simple. You want to rank an article on how to get rid of pimples. What exactly should be the title of that particular topic, and what should be the content of that? So if it's A for you, you can type in A, and then if it's B, it should be B. Okay, nice. I'm seeing a lot of answers, which is fantastic. I'll continue with it. You guys can continue answering. So the first thing, so how I would answer that, like if somebody is going to ask me what should be the title or topic, then I'm just going to enter that particular exact keyword in Google, and I'm going to look at the SERP. So if I see the SERP, I'm looking at, okay, the first article is 6 ways to get rid of pimples fast. Then the next is 4 natural ways to get rid of pimples fast. Then another one is how to get rid of pimples fast. This one is a bit different, how to treat different types of acne. And this one is home remedies to get rid of pimples fast. So what I'm seeing is that, for a query, how to get rid of pimples, I'm getting all the SERPs or majority of the SERPs around fast, which tells me that, people who are searching this query, they're interested in an article which is around getting rid of pimples fast, and not just an article around how to get rid of pimples, right? So this is very important first step. So the moment someone comes to you and says, hey, I just want to rank this particular keyword, let's start building links, then you just should not just go and start building links using that anchor text. The first step is to actually understand and see the keyword that's been provided to you. Does it make sense? Will it rank at all? Right? So if the client says that I want to rank for how to get rid of pimples, then does the client have the right content as an article which can rank, and if that intent is matching overall in general? So the right answer would be yes, the B. So people who have answered B have won this one. So if client wants to rank this particular article, it has to be how to get rid of pimples fast, even though the query is how to get rid of pimples. Let's look at another example. This is a real example, and this is a case study. And with this case study, you'll be able to understand how, with this one single tip, we were able to improve the ranking of the client's page without even building a backlink, right? So this is an actual email. So somebody just emailed us that, hey, we want to rank our page, which is the stretching page, for this particular keyword. This is exactly how you get requirements, right? Even if you're working in-house, this is what you'll get in this page and this keyword. So remember what we did earlier. So what we'll do is we'll first look at the content. So this content, they have changed it because they went ahead and implemented our suggestion, but this is an web.archive screenshot. So this was the content it looked like. I had a feeling like, okay, this is the content it looks like. And then the next thing that I did was I looked at the SERP. So I just entered the keyword that they suggested me, which was stretches for cyclists. And what I observed was that most of the articles, so in this screenshot, which you can see, the top 3 are like 8 stretches. This is like 10 best stretches. This is like 10 stretches every cyclist should be doing. So overall, the intent of the page is like XX stretches for cyclists. So people are looking for X number of stretches for the cyclist. And the content that we observed here was something around like why stretches are important on that aspect. So the intent was different, the content was different. So I dropped them an email. So this is again an exact email, no changes. If you read, it will be difficult for some of you to read the notes, but I'll just read it aloud. So I said that the intent of the keyword stretches for cyclists is informational, and most of the ranking articles are around XX stretches for cyclists. Our article is on why stretches are important and has a commercial intent. And hence, I don't think that we'll be able to rank on the top. I also mentioned that, we don't need a lot of backlinks to rank, which will go into the next part. But the summary right now is like we tell them that, hey, the content doesn't match with the keyword intent. They accepted the suggestion. So we said that, hey, you should go and rewrite this whole article. Then only you have a chance to rank. So they went ahead and rewrote the whole article. The new article was something where, it was more around XX stretches for cyclists. So they did the whole hard work, and they got the results. So this is a screenshot of August 2022 when they came to us. Actually have that screenshot opened as well, so this was a screenshot. I sent that to them in email, and they were not ranking in the top 10 pages. If you see, most of this are different websites. And then fast forward today, they are ranking on the 2nd position. Technically, they have just changed the content, and over the past few months, their rankings have improved. So there hasn't been any link building that they have done in general. Even if you look at, actually, I have actually shared the actual URL as well. So some of you guys can even go and look at the backlinks. So if you go and look at the backlinks, it's like just 1 or 2 backlinks, and those seems to be naturally picked up because they are on the first, page. So the important point to drive here is that, identify the search intent of your target page or keyword before starting any link building campaign. Like this is a must. If you do this, you're going to save a lot of efforts, and sometimes backlink isn't the answer. So you don't even need to build a link to rank a particular page. So that's the first part of our link building process whenever we get a client. The second step, so you cleared the first step, which is, okay, yeah, the intent is perfect, the content is nice, so we have the potential to rank. The next step is this. So okay, let's now go and check how many, what's the gap, backlink gap. So what's a backlink gap? So it's basically a process of identifying the number of links you need or you have against your top ranking websites. So for any particular keyword, you'll always have, top 10 websites ranking. So a backlink gap analysis is basically understanding how many backlinks a competitors have versus how many you have. An example is something like this. So it's a very detailed backlink gap analysis. So let's say if you search a keyword invoice template in Google, the top 7 competitors, this is the exact DR bucket of those. So competitor 1 has like 107 backlinks between the bracket of 0 to 10. They have like 11 backlinks between 11 to 20 DR. We've used href, so that's where the DR comes in. But basically we have exported all the backlinks and then manually put it into a bucket like which they belong to. We do this for all the competitors, and we also do it for our own URL. So client came to us and said, hey, I want to rank for invoice template. Intent was right, content was right. So that's why we went to the second step. When we came on to the second step, we found that, hey, we don't need any backlinks. They have more than sufficient backlinks. Backlinks isn't the answer because their URL has already more backlinks in general compared to the average number of links of the competitors. And that's where we went ahead and told them, hey, we don't think backlinks is an answer. There has to be something either with the internal linking or maybe some, content aspect or, entities aspect, but certainly backlink isn't the answer to this. So again, we said no to a client because they were in a way interested in building a link. But for us, it's very important that we just don't work on things just for the sake of doing it. Here's another example where a client said, hey, I want to rank for how to start an LLC in Texas. We did the exact same thing. Mentioned the number of backlinks that a website has against all the DR brackets, and then identified what's the gap we have. So in that case, we identified, okay, we require 3 links, which are between the DR bracket of 31 and 50, and 3 links between 51 and 80. So these are the exact, you can say, in a doctor language, the medicine you're looking for. Prescription, I guess, the better word. Because when you know how many backlinks precisely you need to build and what type of backlinks you need to build, it makes your work quite easy. And in terms of launching the campaign and measuring the whole link building campaign, because most of us do, and we used to also do the same before as well, is that we just go and build a link, but then we don't understand how many backlinks do we really need, and for how long do we need to build that link, when should we measure, when's the right time, how to understand if the link building campaign failed. So all of those answers are addressed here, because precisely this number of backlinks needs to be built, and once these are built, wait for 3 months, and that's it. I mean, if it's not working, then maybe backlink isn't the answer for you, something else has to be there. So this is what backlink gap analysis is. So it helps you with 2 things. It first helps you fundamentally, do you really need backlinks or not? Again, for most of the case, there is a very good chance that sometimes they don't need backlinks. So you again go back and tell them, hey, you don't need a backlink, maybe something else is a problem. And if at all they need a backlink, you precisely know how many backlinks do you need to build. And again, that communication is so good that somebody to whom you're reporting, they also understand, okay, this is what needs to be done. And you get a budget approval for that because you are very precise in what you need. So that's the second step. Now we're going on to the last step, which is the third step, prepare and launch your campaign. So now you've done the intent check, the content is fine. You identified, okay, we need to build, let's say 10 backlinks to ensure that the gap is reduced. Now you need to go and launch a campaign. Most of us go directly into step 3, which is go and build a link, right? So this is the third step. Again, the way people, everybody build links is different, but this is how we build a link, and these are the things that we need. So before we build any backlink or start any link building campaign, we get an email account from our client for outreaching. We then warm up the whole email account. Then we find the prospects and the websites to pitch. Then we find their email IDs. Then we verify the email IDs. Then we prepare an email script, and then we launch a campaign. So this is like a pure outreach-based link building approach. So we'll go into one of them one by one. So the first one is getting an email account for outreach. So we usually ask them, the client, that we need an email account which is exactly of the same domain. So let's say if you're doing a link building for Zestard, it will be something like Boni@zestard.com. The reason we suggest to have a domain-based email account is that the reply rate is much better because it looks authentic and genuine. So that's where we request them. There is one technical thing that needs to be done to improve the email deliverability is setting up the SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. So this is basically something that it can be done easily, but it's technically difficult to understand. What it is that it helps the email providers to get a validation that this email is actually coming from the same website itself. So nowadays a lot of people receive emails from their own email accounts. You may or may not have faced, but let's say I have received an email from Boni@zestard.com which I have not sent. So this is like spoofing and hacking. So those things can be addressed and stopped by setting up this thing. We don't have that purpose, but the purpose for us is that by setting this up, we're improving and authenticating to the email service providers, and it somewhere improves the deliverability. So that's something that if you get an email account, you do this. And the third thing is that since you'll be sending a lot of emails for link building, it's important that you don't affect the reputation of the main domain's website. So let's say you're sending a lot of emails from Boni@zestard.com, and if a lot of people will mark it as a spam, then it affects the deliverability of the domain. To avoid that, if client has the budget, we request them to set up a lookalike domain, something like Zestard.co, and then ask them to set up an email account from that particular domain. So by sending it, you are saving the reputation of the main domain. So this is the first thing, like getting an email account. The next thing is warming up the email account. So what's warm up the email account? So whenever you get a new email ID, it's practically like it doesn't have any reputation in the eyes of email providers. Let's say you're using a G Suite, Google's email account. When it's a new account, Google doesn't know that it's something that's going to be used for marketing purpose, or it's actually going to be used by a person. The moment, let's say if you don't do a warm up, and let's say you start sending emails like 50 emails every day or 30 emails every day, and if you don't get any responses from those emails, then practically it flags to this email providers like Google or Microsoft that this email account is being used for marketing activities, because it's only in the marketing activities that you don't get a reply. Because if you're sending a personal email, if somebody is sending a personal mail to somebody else, then there is a high chance that there will be a response back. So to you can say that manipulate the algorithm and to build the trust, there is something like an email warm-up, wherein if you set it up, it will send an automatic email to someone and it will automatically respond back. So for algorithms, it looks like that the person is sending an email and they're getting a response back. So this builds up a positive reputation with the email service providers, and hence it helps avoid sending the emails into spam folders. So the next thing, once we get an email account, is that we set up the email warm-up for all of the email accounts. Usually you'll get this particular feature in an outreaching tool like Lemlist or Mailshake. Both of them are paid tools, but they help you a lot in terms of building up a reputation with the email providers. So once, let's say, the email part is captured, now it's time to find the prospects, like the websites where you can approach to build a backlink. One of the methods that we use to identify websites to whom to approach is through Ahrefs Content Explorer. Let me share you a screenshot. So this is the screenshot from Ahrefs Content Explorer. And what we do is that, let's say I want to write an article on link building on an SEO site. So I want to list of all the SEO websites whom I can approach and pitch. So what I'll do is let's say type technical SEO. Basically, I'm thinking that, if an website has written an article on technical SEO, then that particular website seems to be interested in writing about SEO, and hence I can pitch link building as well. So I write here technical SEO. I'll apply the filters that I want. So let's say I want to approach only websites and have a traffic of 2000 plus and a DR between 20 to 70. There is a reason why I kept 70, because I know that if I want to go and approach a website which is more than DR 70 or DR 80 or DR 90, I need to have a more personalized approach, and the bulk approach is not going to work. So very important strategy that whenever you're trying to go for a bulk approach, always go for a mid-tier websites where it's to work, because if it's a very high authority site, then it's certainly going to be more like a huge personalized response. Right. So this is how we actually, so what we do is that once we apply all these filters, then we literally export all of these URLs, and then the team member manually reviews it. And that's how they prepare the whole prospect list. So then these are the URLs that we have identified. Okay, this is the sites to whom we can go and approach. If we run out of Ahrefs, we use Scrapbox or Citation Labs tool to find more websites. So once we have this list of websites, we have an internal checklist, like what we need to look at while identifying the websites. Like, so we remove a lot of websites which have red flags. Like if they have mentioned, like they accept money to give link, those are rejected. If they have mentioned like they give do follow back link, those are rejected. If they have like a list of keywords, like something like keyword guest posts. So all those queries of finding guest post sites, we don't consider them, because we understand those are like footprints. Google can easily identify those sites and by default demote them or don't even consider them. So we don't include these things. And the same thing, like the recent algorithm that they just released, which was regarding link building, was more or less similar to that. That they said that, hey, we'll start discounting some of the sites which we understand that they are just made for the link building purpose. So the team goes through this internal checklist before they prepare a final list of websites to whom we need to reach out. Once those list of websites are ready, then we identify the contact details. Primarily, we are looking at the author of the article to whom we want to reach out, or we are looking at an editor, or we are looking at a marketing manager, or we are looking at the owner itself if the website is small. Using a tool like Hunter, you can actually upload all of the websites together, and it is going to give you the email IDs of the people that look. So you need to upload the URLs of the website. You also need to upload the first name and the last name all of the person that you are looking for, and then it's going to give you those email IDs. Once you have the contact details, it's still not over. You need to verify the email address. Again, why you need to verify the email address is that if you don't verify the email address, there'll be a high bounce rate, and anything that's above 10% bounce rate, there is a good chance that it will affect your reputation and can result into a suspension of your email account. So we use a tool like usebouncer.com to verify the email address in bulk. Once those email addresses are verified, then the next step is that we now prepare an email script that we need to be sending. We at least try to have few personalized elements which are very straightforward, something like website the name of the person, the website URL, and the website name in the particular script. So at least have some part personalized in the script. Also, if it's possible for you, please suggest some of the blog topics upfront. Like, if you're approaching for a guest post, it's better if you just provide them a list of topics that you think can be pitched. It's very hard. We don't do it also on all the campaigns, but if it's possible for you, it's great if you can add or suggest topics, because that's going to help you increase the conversion rate. So once the script is prepared, it's now time to set up and launch the campaign. We use an outreaching tool called LabList, where we set up the entire campaign and then we keep it on autopilot. So whenever we get a response, only then we go and respond to them and look into that. So once that whole is done, then we just waiting for the responses to come back. So just to summarize, once the step 1 is done and step 2 is done, when it's time to launch a campaign, we get an email account first, we then warm it up, then we find websites to whom we need to pitch, we find their email addresses, we verify the email addresses, prepare an email script, and then we launch the campaign. So this is our entire, you can see the link building process, starting from identifying and the right search intent of the particular target page and keyword, then identifying the backlink gaps, and then lastly, once the step 1 and 2 are completed, then you launch the whole campaign. This whole system is something like, even if you want to, let's say, build 100 links, 200 links a month, you can build those links with a good accuracy and understanding and fundamentally right way using this whole system. So we do this in every month. For us, it's like more like 100 to 150 backlinks a month that we build for our clients, and we use this exact approach. So yeah, that's it from my end. I hope you enjoyed the session and found it useful. Yeah, over to you guys.
Yeah, definitely they would have enjoyed this session. Thank you, Boni, for sharing such great insights on the link building process. The techniques and tips would definitely be helping our SEO fraternity professionals to concentrate on creating relevant, linkable, and scalable assets. So yeah, well, that brings us to the conclusion of the event. Now over to Chanvi.
Thank you, Pragya. That was indeed a revamp for all the SEO strategies. If consistently applied, it will surely impact the momentum. It was undoubtedly beneficial to hear such wonderful ideas that would have assisted many of you in planning your business and career decisions. On the behalf of iVIPANAN, we wholeheartedly thank all the speakers and panel members for delivering such a fruitful session. Further, if you have any query or question, you can get all those answers in the form of PDF in few days. You can also get in touch with us on the email address mentioned before. I would also like to thank all the attendees for giving us their valuable time and being so interactive and attentive during the whole event. And again, I want to thank all the event associates and supporting partners. But hey, we are not done yet. We are coming back tomorrow and the day after with more such interesting topics, that is digitalizing HR and strategies for brand building with social media. If you haven't registered yet, there's still time. Just follow the link mentioned in the comment box. So now I would like to leave you on a note, hoping to meet tomorrow. Until then, goodbye and good night.